fact, there are so many riders still in contention in this Category 4 race.
Yeah, 14 riders within a minute. If you go to within 5 minutes, then you're talking 37, 38, 37 riders within 5 minutes, and those gaps can be changed. It is changeable. I'm going to just give a shout out to Arthur Corbani, currently in 43rd place. He's lost a little bit of time, lost 6.5 minutes, but we are going into the big climbs where we know it's going to suit him more. And I think the big thing for me, when you've got a young rider like Arthur in a race like this, it's all such valuable experience. Whatever he does in his cycling in the future, he's got this to draw back on, those experiences. Now, let's go to our stage winner, Panamala Lucia, taking away the top spot in the race, in the stage on stage 2 in Category 4, ahead of Ryan Giuliano and Aidan Sinclair. Sinclair leading, though, in that sprint competition in Category 4 from Francis Pino. 9 points the difference at the start of today, and it's 10 points from Pino to Kawanaki. Climbs competition a little different.
Yeah, Narbati picked up 18 points that were available yesterday, but he's not leading that competition. That too goes to Aidan Sinclair because he picked up the earlier points on the smaller climbs. So I think that's going to be an interesting one because Aidan Sinclair now really has a choice as we start to move forward with the higher points value climbs coming up over the next 3 days. Does he contest the climbs? Does he contest the sprints? Which one does he pick? Or is he going to try and keep a foot in both camps?
Dangerous. If they go in different directions, that could be quite painful.
Yeah, however, the sprint competition and the climb competition, very tightly linked as we move forward because it's first across the line in the sprints. So getting up and over those climbs in the top 5 is where the sprinters will pick up points. So I think it's some clever thinking and clever strategizing from the young rider.
And clever course design. I like the fact that there's a mix. So sometimes, some stages early on, riders can pick up a lot of points early. They've then got to make decisions on the way through. I love when we challenge our riders' minds as well as their bodies.
Well, we are indeed challenging minds and bodies on the MyWhoosh Championships. Category 4 are up and out the pen. We're in with Adrian Gonzalez at the moment. He's sat right to the fore of the pack. Another strong start at the moment. Carlos Alvarez is leading this out. Malvin Angarita is in the mix as well. Narbati right to the front. Giacomo Natari in there as well. Natari, one of our interesting riders, he works with the professional peloton.
He does indeed, and it's going to be very interesting how he goes on today. There's no excuses for not knowing what you're doing when you are a coach. Just in with Arthur Corbani at the moment, so you can just see Andre in the background. Arthur, the rider nearest to us. So good to see you, Arthur. Good morning, or bom dias, as it is in Portuguese. I don't know much. Basically 2 words, but they're 2 good words. Well,
yes, and Corbani not wanting to miss the moves here, making sure he's in the right place at the right time. You don't want to get gapped on this climb up and over the bridge. So very sensibly paying less attention to you, Matt.
Well, you did give us a wave. What more do you want?
I know.
I can't exactly have a conversation with him when he's on the front of the race going over this bridge, which in person is an absolute monster of a bridge. Category 4. Very briefly, I'm just going to say teams, Cycling District and Pedal Club at the front, 3 seconds separating them. They've got a great battle, and Anzacs are hovering behind at 16 seconds. They could be in the mix very quickly. There's a real battle between Cycling District 4 being the Golden 4 as well. And those team competitions are going to be in there. Now, I am loving the fact
he's a bit chilly.
Yeah, but look at the colour.
I know. He's in green.
He's in green. It's the green jersey for the sprints. Is that a case of Aidan Sinclair telling us subliminally what he's going for? Is this a little bit of a Freudian slip in terms of his attire heading out? Has he given away to the competition his aims and ambitions?
I think you're reading
Am
too
I overthinking
much into it.
No,
we did see
green jersey, I love it.
Casquette, didn't we, on Salgado?
I'm sorry, but I think that's great because I think if I was ever in a position to be leading on a sprints competition, I would wear green just because it is going to give me extra speed.
Well, Francis Pino, the rider we're in with at the moment, currently second wheel, is leading the GCC competition. He's leading it from Clinton Cirillo by 1 minute and 43 seconds. So a good, strong start for Pino. Pino's been on form, though, so far in this championships.
He has, but we know him more as a sprinter. Clinton Cirillo can sprint, but we also know he can climb. I don't think you should discount Hassan Sultan either, because we know when we come to the climbs, the rider in third place in GCC has the potential to go over the top. He's only a few minutes back, so he has that potential to go take that. Now, in with category 5 on the way into our sprint line at the moment. It's another of our Warrens on the move this time around. Joel Warren just opening up his legs, just stretching them out. Warren ahead of Mazaros, who led this competition, only 1 point behind coming into today's competition in that sprint competition in category 5. But Warren will now take the lead, because behind him, he says confidently, is going to come Machado. Mazaros at the moment, I'm just looking to see if he's going to score a point. He might. Do you know what? It's going to still be close, but it's going to lay with Warren, that leader's skin. So you can see he's pulled that on now in the front of the race, going through, taking 5 points, 4 for Machado, 3 for Lopez, 2 for Rojas, and 1 for Mazaros. So Roman Mazaros been a little bit wise here. And one thing the riders have to be very aware of and keep in the back of their minds, this sprint comes at 9.3 kilometers.
Yes.
The climb starts at 12. Put yourself in a hole now, and you are going to have extra heights to climb on that climb.
Yeah, 68 riders, though, in the leading group in category 5, having just gone through there. They've got a 47-second gap to 3 riders chasing: Warren, Machado, Lopez, Rojas, Mazaros. You're right, Kubiak, Roy, Gonsoling, Savic, and Tabarez, the top 10. It's a good group, and there's a number of really strong riders in here. Just Marius Fossi's gone through in 28th place, Rod Loxley down in 31st, Lucas Petter in 33. It's an interesting move as we drop back in with category 4.
We are back in with category 4, and we are in with Andrew Rushmer at the moment. So interesting to see how Andrew goes on today. We will see if he can score big here today.
Leading that Masters competition.
Yeah, I was just looking at the time gaps behind him, and I think for me it's clear which riders can't climb versus which can but can sprint. There are some riders who've lost a lot of time at the bottom of this, who clearly we know, and I'm going to pick on Evan Schwartz here. Evan Schwartz is a fantastic rider. I'm absolutely in awe of him, of his sprinting abilities and his ability in a rolling course to get to the finish and sprint. But I think now that we're starting to see the bigger climbs come in, he's got to maximise his early opportunities. And that could be our first sprint here today, because I think that is going to be key for him to now take things away or get recovery done, and maybe go into some of those later stages where we're beyond the big mountains and actually put something down, maybe the time trial.
Well, I was just thinking Aidan Sinclair might have a long sleeve warm-up jersey still on because it's chilly, but his avatar's warm because it's wearing 3 jerseys in one.
Yes.
The category 4 riders are rolling now at the 4.4 kilometre mark, and they really are rolling. They're rolling around zone 2. So the pace come out of the pack that was the early pace up and over that bridge, and now settled as they run in towards that first sprint coming at the 9.3 kilometre marker. I can only just say, this is so reminiscent of actually riding this route out on Hedera Island in real life. These beech tree hedges as Mika Rusamaki rolls through.
Yep, definitely. It's a memory of a lifetime. Only having been to Hedera Island once, I have been lucky enough to go to the UAE on a couple of occasions, commentating on events. The Urban BMX actually was one of those. Didn't see anything but the hotel and the event venue there. Fortunately, I had a little bit more time to go visit to Derek Island. It's definitely a must-do. Now, one man who is a bit of an international rider, Henry East, from the Republic of South Africa, resides in New Zealand, where it is already late at night. Good to see, sir, that you have got the mug up there. I'm sure it's not Ovaltine in there, which is an old folks drink
Hot
for getting you
chocolate.
to bed. I am on honey and ginger here in the studio.
He's
but
on coffee.
I hope you're on. I hope that's a really like a quadruple coffee. Don't do that at home, folks. It's probably not good for you. Okay, let's go down to our next category, about to leave the start pens as we go diving down into the riders here in the lead of category 3. Miguel Jaquila, the Suffer Together riders.
All suffering together in 1 and 2.
They are absolutely brilliant. We're going to see how that then plays out as this race continues onwards.
They've got 4 riders in the top 10 on GC at the moment.
I know that they are looking. They're looking strong. The only thing I'm going to say for everybody else is we've not hit a lot of big mountains one after the other, but I'm not sure it's going to make a huge difference. We'll have to see.
No, and you know what? There are 44 riders in category 3, sub 5 minutes on GC. It's a really, really close competition out there. In fact, the time gaps are not big until you get, actually, they're not big throughout the entire race field. Yeah. They really, really aren't. So category 3 still all to play for as we go into stage 3.
And you can see Skierski and Jaquila, the order that they came over the line. Jaquila, Skierski, the GC. So the gap between them is only 1.157 of a second. Reinheimer, the rider in 3rd place, 3rd overall on GC as well. Christopher Morgan, the breakaway specialist, leading the sprint competition. Not so much, not by sprinting so much as breaking away. I thought that was really interesting, the way that he took the points yesterday.
Mason Rocker holding the jersey though, because the points picked up the previous day. A bit of the similar in the King of the Mountains competition. Adar still on that competition by one point. He's holding on from Fabio Hulhorst and Junyu Lin really close behind. So those 3 riders we should see them battle that out today, or somebody new could come to the top.
I think you need to watch out for Christian Montoya. He has been noticeable by his absence in terms of battling for the very front, but he has been right in position, mopping up points all the way through. And Montoya, if I'm not much mistaken, is a defending champion on the MyWhoosh Championships. Now I'm just going to find out if I'm correct. Raphael Buchter on our screen.
Correct. That's twice you've nailed the category 3. Both category 3 in the women and category 3 in the men have a defending champion in the peloton.
My ambition one day is to be good enough to be in category 6.
I thought you were going to say category 3 then.
Not a chance.
Raphael Butcher on your screen is good enough to be in category 3.
Yes.
And
great rider.
Regularly takes it with the pack to the line and puts in a phenomenal sprint. So he is one to watch when it's a fast finishing finish. Tobias Schmidt is the rider to watch at the moment because he's off the front. Bruno Forster is in there as well. Jacek Chikors is there as well. Mason Rocker to the front. Jakub Wojciech, Mr. MyWhoosh Info himself is up there. And Christopher Morgan. So Morgan starting to move to the front of the pack. Yesterday's breakaway was not enough, obviously.
When you're a breakaway specialist, is there ever enough? I mean,
good question.
Today, the big mountains days are very, very... A breakaway, or when we go on to our massive mountain day, that's not going to happen. I just can't see that. Not in the same way, but today there is a possibility, but it's going to be tough. Jean Yannicki, a rider definitely to watch out for, I think. Definitely a rider who he's been rolling there or thereabouts in the climbs competition. He's taken points already, but that's not his target.
No, I don't think it is. Well, Mason Rocker at the moment, his target is that sprint competition, and that's the jersey that he holds. The King of the Mountains, as we said, Ergatan Adar is the rider in that jersey. In the other jerseys, can I just say, I'm loving the black jersey with the gold polka dots.
You do love that. I
do.
Keep saying, if anybody wants to just put one together, just to keep Emma quiet, please just let us know. Because it would just, it would make the commentary box an easier place to be.
Well, Adar resplendent in polka dots. In the Masters competition, it's Martin Conda who's leading that, but we'll drop back into that in a very
Thank
small
you
while, because
very
Evan
much.
Svart is doing exactly what Matt said he would do and going off the front at
Come on, Evan!
for the first sprint, but it's a long run. He's still got 850 metres, but he's clear
Come on, buddy!
of the group behind. Graham Pearce on the front of the pack as Matt applauds in the studio. Pearce, Bergin, Bombasini all in the mix, but Eben Svart is off the front of the pack and moving towards that green banner. It's so deceptive, this straight, I tell you.
It's a long way.
You think that banner is there, and it is not.
Yeah, you can see the face of Evan here. He's hurting. He's still got a long way to go. They're at 12 seconds, but it's going to come down. Now, I tell you something, it's always great to see when our riders who know that the big climbs are coming, they go out. He's going to go into this banner. He's getting the TV time. Once again, Eben Svart on the move, showing us just what it takes to go clear. I tell you something, well, this was made harder by the fact that I said he was going to do it. Because guess what? Everybody knew this was a potential tactic if they're watching the live show, and he's gone away from them. They must have been snoozing. What was going on? Eben was listening. He's gone and done this. He's not getting pulled back now.
Well, he's not, but Francis Pino wants to pick up the 4 points behind. He wants those extra points in that sprinters competition. But Svart is going to go through and take away the 5 points for the first sprint day here on Hedera Island. Ka-ching! Job done.
If I was allowed to play the applause effect without Emma slapping me across the studio, I would do, buddy. That's a brilliant ride. We love attacking riders. It's not favouritism at all, believe me. We just love riders who are prepared to have it. Well, I am. But riders who are prepared to have a go. Well done. You can see, though, that the gap has absolutely disappeared the moment they've come over the line. Svart going through with 5 points, Pino with 4, Natari with 3, Restrepo with 2, and Schneider with 1. And Evan, if your legs hurt on the climb, sorry.
Yes, well, 52
now.
riders in the leading group in category 4. Svart taking those 5 points, Pino, Natari, Restrepo and Schneider, and they all add together. And Francis Pino still leading. Well, he's not, because Aidan Sinclair's leading the competition, but Pino picking up those points.
Yep, Sinclair still leading, but not scoring points in that sprint. So as the bunch goes around, I've just seen Eric Rimbaud, Golden Boy himself, just go sweeping past on the way through in Category 4. Category 3 now at the 3.7 kilometre marker. Just at the moment between the bridge that brings them on the way in. We're in with Dorvan Cahill, the rider leading in the Gulf Council competition and doing a good ride at the moment. Nicely tucked in, holding on to that jersey. And I think for me, Elos is just really consistent at the moment, really putting some good rides at the moment. I think he's just got to keep focused now as we go through this and not let the front of that race go. Let's move across to that Masters competition. Martin Conda leading that out. This is really close. First to second place that's not even a tyre width.
No, Conda from the WhatsApp crew in 1 in the jersey, but Antti Poni of Ride Club Finland 3.385 of a second back. Conda might have that jersey yet, but there's a question as to whether he will keep it for tomorrow. I'm sure he will be defending it in style.
Yeah, definitely. Poni's a difficult man to beat. Actually, he pops up and gets into the mix very, very quickly indeed. Now, in our youth competition, this is an incredible battle at the moment. Yulian Lin ahead of Sergio Osorio, 3 seconds back, 4 seconds back, Hjulhorst, and then the gaps get a little bit bigger. But 8 riders still for me in the mix. 7 of them, Adal, Patterson, Foster, Ponzi, Hjulhorst, Osorio, Lin. I wouldn't want to choose between them at this stage.
No, 2.5 minutes separating those top 7 riders in that young rider competition. And that, for a lot of these riders,
Subcategories?
Let's call them subcategories. These subcategories are the focus, and the young rider competition, to win the under 23 competition with this level of competition is phenomenal. Jerry Pippenden on your screen at the moment. Neat and tidy Pain Cave, really liking that. I should learn a few lessons from Jerry, but Jerry right in the mix.
Say nothing about the studio.
Jerry right in the mix in the category 3 race and doing a good job.
I'm only kidding. The studio's a very neat mix. Emmett has so many pieces of paper. It's very easy to think that it's a bit different because I'm on the computer, but it's all notes. And we do our homework. We have so many notes on the riders, and they keep on getting added to. So thank you very much, everybody who gets in touch with @biking_Emma, adding to her copious notes that she's already made, and to myself @MattFixerPaint on the way through. It is really good to hear from everybody.
Well, Category 2 are down in the start pen. The warm-up's now complete. They are ready to go very, very shortly.
They are indeed. So overall, stage 1 was quite decisive because it saw Betty come through clear of Mr. X100 and then the bunch. Yesterday, Peter Milostic went clear.
And moved up on GC.
He did. How many places? I can't remember how many places that was.
A lot of places. If you bear with me 1 second, I can tell you. But on GC in Category 2 yesterday, Peter Milostic moved up 30 places.
That's even more than I thought. I knew it was a lot. I didn't realize it was quite so many. Big move up from him in through the general classification, taking time on that stage. So time critical on the run into the finish each and every day in our general classification. On the stage, you can see our stage winners in Category 2. Peter Milostic taking that win. 4 seconds back was Mitchell. Mr. X100 losing another 4 seconds, to Milostic, but staying ahead of him. So it was a 4-second loss in terms of time, but staying ahead just on the GC. Villamer taking the most points, and SS the most of the climbing points. But that is still to be decided. All these competitions, I don't think, are even close to over in Category 2.
Oh gosh, no. Definitely not. Well, with the final 15 seconds ticking down for the men in Category 2, it is going to be a great race out there today. It's going to be an interesting race. I think we might going to see some attacks in that climbing competition in the King of the Mountains. SS holding the points there with Milostic and Mare in the overall. In the sprint competition, Mare on top against Langevin and Hertz at the moment. There's a number of points out there today for the riders who go over the climbs in the leading group.
And Vidal Mare can climb. We know that. And I think for me, that's why he's so dangerous in that points competition. Giselle Betty holding that lead after his initial breakaway on stage 1. Hopefully got his recovery right, got everything dialed. In fact, that is an uber tidy pain cave.
I'm just looking at the hydration and the fuel.
The gel's all laid out. Yeah,
it's where you need it. That is preparation done well.
It's absolutely superb. What I want to know is different bottles, different colors. Is each different colored bottle a different type of fuel on the way through? So, Giselle, we've got different bottles. We've got the MyWhoosh bottle, very much from the championships, part of the goodie bag that went out last year. So that's right in there as well. So 3 different bottles, different things. I'm sure probably in each one. I always like to know what's in what bottle, even if it means I have to put a bit of tape around the bottle to give me the indication on there. Well, I think I deem what your whether it's fuel or hydration or it's electrolytes, really key.
Well, Trojnowski out front already. Ice vest on, keeping cool. The Polish rider punching up this early bridge on the course and just stretching the legs and stretching the grip. Maciej Mendakowicz closing down the gap and going straight up on. I'm not surprised there. He's a rider who likes a tough race. Mitchell Stewart, Novosad is there as well. Pardon Cooper, Machado, all coming to the back of that group. They're trying to stretch the pack. They're trying to keep it rolling. They're trying to keep it moving. But everybody in this group more than capable of being in the mix.
And one rider who I think is going to be looking forward to the climb and not this explosive start here, Mr. X100, currently at the back of the main group, leading in the Masters competition overall. He is leading that competition out, also leading the GCC competition as well. 2 jerseys to him. So in the GCC, it's Mr. X100 in 1, SS in 2, Ivan Nuki in 3. They're your top 3 riders in that competition.
The Masters competition is
yeah,
really
Masters
close.
is brilliant.
X100 currently wearing the jersey. Peter Milostic 4 seconds back. Nathan Guerra 7 seconds back. Maciej Mendakowicz 11 seconds back. SS at 15 seconds. So 15 seconds separating the top 5 riders in the Masters competition.
And 7th place rider in that competition, Bruce Bird, specialist of a long-range breakaway. So don't discount him on looking to maybe move a few places when we change our parkour and go away from the coastline.
Well, Category 3 coming towards that sprint banner, and we've got gaps in the group here. Christopher Morgan has gone again, early doors yet again in Category 3. Mason Rocker is with him on his heels. Dean Cunningham, the Scottish rider, now starting to try and close this down and go over to the group. That would mean a breakaway group of 3 riders with around 9 seconds on 2 chasers who have got a little gap on the further main pack. The question for me is this a run for the sprint banner, or is this a long run attack for the day? Well, only time will tell as Morgan and Rocker go head to head for the sprint banner, and Rocker now starts to pick up the pace, but so does Morgan. Morgan wants this over Rocker, I think, at the moment. I think Christopher Morgan is going to take these points. He takes 5 points. Rocker will take 4. Cunningham will take 3. The pack behind are coming at speed with 1 or 2 of the riders poking their nose into the wind because they want to pick up the points. But the question for me really now is, will the gap stick? I don't think it will, because those 3 riders have all backed off the pace.
I'm quite surprised to see Christopher Morgan back off the pace. They've still got a good gap. I mean, it's 15 seconds to Morgan from Corrales at the moment, who's just fighting it out behind. Rocker, strong. Morgan, very strong. But massive move there to come across from Dean Cunningham. The Scotsman clearly seeing the move go, not having scored any points in that sprint competition to date. You've got to be, I mean, I'm a little confused by the tactics.
Well, why not? You know, day 1, day 2, keep yourself in the pack, keep yourself, you know, nice and steady. At day 3, there's still 4 days to go.
I guess for Dean there, he was looking and going, well, hang on, you've got 2 great riders up the road, so maybe just try and get some time going into the climb. And if I go with them and we keep going, that's going to really, really help.
There's 85 points still available in the sprint competition.
True.
We've only had 35 points done so far.
Okay, let's dive in with our riders in the under 23 in the Espoirs competition. We're just in with Josh Power, who is leading for the Vuelta Panda in that under 23 competition. Behind him, though, it's a real who's who, isn't it, Emma?
It is indeed, in terms of that Category 2 pack, and the competition in that youth really, really tight. Kamadeva, the new rider that we've seen from Indonesia, coming in 5 seconds back. Termerton 7 seconds back. Those 3 riders are having a real battle. Pardon Cooper out on the front at the moment, stretching his legs at the 3.8 kilometre marker. Buchewecki is at the front of the group. So is Nitko. Zillard is there as well. Hayland, Walter, Carson, Guerra, Fournier. They are all coming around here, this right-hand corner. It's still a long run to that first sprint banner.
It is, and I think Parder Cooper here is just looking to take advantage of the fact that he's in that position that you see in stage races where you're not likely to challenge on GC, on the general classification. You know, you're a little bit further back. It's not impossible, but it's unlikely. And then you start to see people moving and trying to go off the front. Now, down in the pain cave with Nicolas Fournier, who has been uncharacteristically quiet so far. Powder and dry and keeping, rearrange into a well-known phrase and saying.
Yeah, they do indeed. Well, at the moment, the rider pushing off the front is Pardon Cooper. Julian Hertz is trying to close this down. They're only at the 4.5 kilometre marker. It's an interesting move going down at the moment. David Nitko taking a look and seeing what he does. He's happily sat at the front of the pack, happily sat at the front of the chase, and they are just watching the moves at the moment. Well, watching the moves, they may well be, but Nico looks well within himself at the moment on the early parts of stage 3 of this 7-stage race. 7 stages over 8 days is the MyWhoosh Championships, and we are rolling with you every single day. There is one rest day on Sunday, and I've just seen
Pardon? Rest day for the riders.
Well, if you let me finish, there's one rest day for the riders on Sunday in the MyWhoosh Championships. But of course, it is the Sunday Race Club. I've seen the start sheets. They're quite light. I think there's a lot of riders from the MyWhoosh Championships this year choosing not to race the Sunday Race Club, which will leave it wide open for everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, Ivan Nuki on Hedaria Island at the Abu Dhabi Cycling Club. There he is. Look at that. Riding past his own window probably in a moment.
Pretty much now, I think. Literally now. The bill, I think it's literally to his right-hand side, so he can wave at himself.
That would be so funny.
His avatar could wave at him in person out on the island. So just taking on board that hydration there. One of the things I really, really love about this with Ivan is you look at his cadence.
It's fabulous.
He's there revving it round. It's 100 revs per minute. Brilliant revs. Love it. He's just so fluid on the bike. Let's move up to our top categories. Category 1 who are on the start lines. Now, Jason Osborne, clear at the front. After 2 stages, 21 seconds clear of Ollie Jones. Jones at the moment, 17 seconds clear of Ruben Dont. Not necessarily the top 3 we would expect in that order at the finish, but Osborne leading with a gap, but not huge yet.
Well, no, it's not huge, and I wonder whether the word is yet. 21 seconds from Jones, 38 seconds from Ruben Dont. Dont, we spoke to yesterday on the podcast, moving up into 3rd place. He took 2nd place overall on the stage yesterday, 7 seconds back. He did a lot of the work to bring Jason Osborne back. Osborne came back and then he went again. Jones coming through for 3rd. Ollie Jones picking up the most points in the sprint competition yesterday. Jason Osborne picking up the most points in the climbing competition, adding to his total. So underneath his gold jersey today, he's wearing polka dots. In that sprint competition, Pavel Skierski and Jasper Paradians have the same number of points. They're tied on 23. Ollie Jones has 22 points overall, so 1 point separates the top 3 riders in the sprint competition. 4 sprints out there on course today, 20 points available. It's going to be a really interesting sprint competition in category 1.
So it's time to go racing here on stage 3 of the men's MyWhoosh Championship. Control the chaos. Let the chaos begin. We're up, we are out, we are away. And it's looking quite controlled as we go off from the start line. At the moment, nobody being distanced out the back, as you'd expect from consummate professional riders. The top of the tree, the category without. They are so... For me, there is a real comparison between category 1 and the horse category climbs that we'll see later on in the stage racing. Beyond categorization, because there is no top level to this.
They are elite.
You can't go off the top because basically there is nowhere to go. You are the best of the best.
Well, Ollie Jones, it's his pain cave that we're dropping into at the moment. The fans are rolling, trying to keep him cool as Jones continues to move in that competition for the sprints that we saw. He's also 2nd on GC at the moment, the rider for the Alpha Jaw Space Cowboys. That team also in 2nd place. Really interesting time gaps in that team competition. They're just 26 seconds back on the final bosses at the moment as they go into stage 3. Zero Ducks Racing also doing a great job in the team competition. They're 1:23 back. In fact, 2 minutes separate the top 6.
Thomas Thrall on the move. This has been a move predicted, I think, by him on a number of occasions. He's looking to move clear from the rest of the group. At the moment, the chase is coming from Hayden Pucker, who is chasing him down really strongly here. The Zero Ducks Racing rider, Thrall, on the front. Dont just marking the moose. Pucker, though, for the final bosses, not wanting to let anything go at this stage. Van Elst is up in the mix as well. Also, final boss rider. So they really are massing at the front here. You've got Osborne in the mix as well, right up there. Lionel Vajassin in the pain cave at the moment, out of the saddle, and you can just see, just keeping a check on what's going on here. One of our really, really experienced riders in terms of cycling esports, and a rider who, come the stage race, I think Lionel Vajassin is likely to come good. He just needs to not have one bad day.
Well, can we say that when he rode in Hedera at the World Championships, pre the Worlds in 25, he didn't have a good day?
You can say that because it's true. He didn't. He had a bad day.
He did have a bad day. He came off the bike and that took an injury that really impacted him at the World Championships, even though he put a sterling performance in on that final stage. It is all different today. He's not riding around Hedera in real life. He's riding around it on MyWhoosh, and he's racing and racing hard. He's currently inside the top 10 on GC in Category 1 as we drop in with Category 2. And Machado now looking to close down Mayer, Pardon Cooper and Hertz.
So, can he close down the overall leader? That is the question. He's going to get onto the wheels here. It's going to make 4 at the front with still time to kick for the line. Mayer leading, Langevin second on points, Hertz third on points, Machado in 4th position on those points as they come in towards the checkpoint. At the moment, the time is ticking, the distance is disappearing, and at the moment, Machado now out of the saddle. He's holding around 7 watts per kilo. We know he can go bigger than that, and now he puts down the power. 10 watts per kilo coming out from Machado. It's nearly 12 watts for Mayer to go over the top of him, but is it enough to distance him? Pardon Cooper, he's also coming strong. Has he got the drive off the draft? The front two starting to move clear. Pardon Cooper is not going to match the power of Mayer. It's going to be a Mayer, Pardon Cooper, Hertz, Machado, and Trojanowski. Machado moving across, ensuring he takes those points. A really key move there, not leaving it to the bum fight in the bunch.
Well, it was just so interesting to watch that. The pace went up, it went down, it went up, it went down, and Pardon Cooper just didn't have it in the end to go against Vidal Mayer today. Mayer taking those 5 points, Pardon Cooper takes 4, Hertz takes 3, Machado takes 2, Trojanowski takes 1. I think we're going to see those riders come to the fore again a little bit later, but they've got to get over the Hederiac climb first.
They certainly do. They need to ascend up the 5.6 kilometer long climb. It's coming in a few K's time.
Yeah, Cat 6 and Cat 5 already up and over the Hederiac climb. We saw that because as Category 1 were going over the bridge, Category 6 were coming the other direction.
And we're still seeing a number of Category 6 and Category 5 riders coming towards our riders, doing loops around Hederiac Island, the big Hederiac letters. You can go stand in front of those and have your picture taken. I wonder if Neil Fryatt did that when he was there at the World Championships. Neil Fryatt, the Masters leader in Category 1. The Uber fan beside me, Emma Martin, always effervescent with her praise of Neil Fryatt's skills and the fact he's actually a really nice guy as well.
He's currently line 6 on GC, plus with that Masters competition, 45 seconds back at the moment.
And I think for me, Neil Fryatt really should go well across all these days. I think he's a thoughtful person, and as a thoughtful person, you should have the planning dialed.
Well, I think he's the sort of rider I don't think who turns up unless he thinks he can compete. And he works out how he can compete best.
Okay.
So he's very strategic and thoughtful, but looking forward to seeing how the rest of the racing plays out for him. In the young riders competition, it's Pavel Skierski, who is the rider with the white shoulders on his jersey. That, again, for me, is another great competition this year in Category 1. Last year, we saw Pavel Skierski go head-to-head with Hayden Pucker. Hayden Pucker now moving out of that category. But Lyndon Milostic, 3 seconds back on Skierski. Jakob Dane, 49 seconds back. Jan Jasbeck, a little bit further back on GC. He's 10 minutes down, just coming up from Category 2 into Category 1 for the MyWhoosh Championships.
Indeed. So, Jan, don't feel anything about the fact that you are where you are. You've just literally come into category. What a baptism of fire, moving into the very top category of cycling esports when you are there on your first time. Now, Pavel Skierski on your screens. He is our youth leader.
He also holds a sprint jersey.
He also holds the sprint jersey here. Is tied on points with Jesper Paradians, though.
Yes,
so
he
it's
is.
very, very close at the top of that sprint competition. Bearing in mind, of course, we've got the first sprint today at 9.3 kilometers. Pavel Skierski, really nice rider, really interesting rider. Thank you very much, Pavel. We're going to put that out there for coming and joining us on the podcast on episode 1.
Yes. Category 6 on the right-hand side of your screen at the 35.6 kilometre marker. They're coming back onto Hedera Island for the second lap out on course today. They've done 2 sprints and 1 climb. They have 2 sprints and 1 climb still to go, and it's still a good sized group in category 6. It's just taking a double check, 32 riders in that leading group through the Hedera Beach sprint, pretty much all still together at the moment.
It was 32 at the top of the climb. Should we run through the climbs leaders as they came over the top? Category 6, Emil Ivanov leading them through, taking 10 points. Santeri Quickstrom taking 8 points. Garcia Sibiel taking 6 in third. Voja taking 4 points in fourth. And Daniel Barbela taking 2 points in fifth position.
In category 5, it was Gavescu who took the 10 points from Spratt, from Marin, Thornton and Roas. That does mean Nick Spratt still stays at the head of that competition, but Gavescu now up to 23 points. There is Jan Yazbek on your screen at the moment in the category 1 pack, right towards the front of the group.
Jan Yazbek with the MyWhoosh, no fuss, no fee, just ride, or in this case, no
just
fuss,
race.
no fee, just race. What a great hashtag. Don't forget hashtag in MyWhoosh. If you're out racing, we're loving all of the images that are coming on social media. And that doesn't matter whatever age you are. If you're a young person like Jan, or whether you're an old gimmer like me, do get those pictures in there. If you tag in MyWhoosh, that's really appreciated. So at MyWhoosh on social media, on Instagram and Facebook. Also, of course, it's great if you could tag in at MyWhoosh Racing. That is the Inside the Race podcast. And of course, tag in at Bike_, and myself at Matt Fixer Payne. Now, the riders on the roof of the velodrome at the moment, just making the way back down again. This velodrome just being built on Hedera Island, going to be hosting the World Track Championships. It's an event I really, 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 really want to go to, and probably won't be able to because it'll clash with something else. But I love my track racing, and I love my riding. I love watching riders compete. Daniel Turek on our screens at the moment, racing his way down from the roof. And I'm not sure if I'm wrong here, but I understood it that actually in person, you will be able to ride to the roof of the velodrome.
Yes, there will be a cycle track.
A cycle track on the roof of the velodrome.
Yes,
so you can ride up to the top of the velodrome, ride round the top of the velodrome,
and then ride back down.
It's the bike version of the Italian job.
Yes, absolutely brilliant. It's going to be superb, and when it's finished,
got to be on
you never know.
Bucket list.
Yeah, it has, isn't it? As a place to go. Well, at the moment, the place to be in category 2 is at the 13.4 kilometre marker. They are on the climb at the moment, and it is a group away. Mendakowicz, SS, Nitko, Krasnich, Buchwalki is there. Trojanowski is there. Mayer is there as well. Riders really desperately trying to get over from the pack behind. You can see the pointed that is the group further back trying to make connection.
They are indeed, and the riders who came through the line up near the front of the race in terms of that velodrome sprint, a number of those just sort of continuing onwards with that little bit of a push, I think, to take them onto the climb. Riders now starting to go across. When you've got a little group of riders off in front, it's a little bit of a carrot in front of the donkey syndrome, isn't it? Because you see riders then going, oh, I'm just going to get across here. This could break this up. If I make this move, it's really going to test the riders. Maybe if I could get up there, we're going to get a stronger group on the front. And because of that pressure of the chase and the drive to get onto the front group, it puts riders in trouble at the back. And it's that intended or unintended consequence that happens when the pace goes up at the front. Anyone who is maybe under pressure could find the gap opening, leaving a gap open, then they're in deep trouble, because once this gap goes, and we're just onto the base of the climb, really, we're 2K in, but it's still
Yeah,
part way up. We're nowhere near the
the
summit.
challenge with trying to get a gap on this climb is the fact that you've got the flat levels, and the flat levels allow the group to come back, because if you keep punching on the pedals, you keep punching on the power, you can close the gap back down, and that's exactly what's just happened on that flat section we've just been through. The gradient is now rising again. We're at 4.2, 5.2, 5.5%, but the pack back in a little bit further up the road at the 20.9 kilometre marker, the category 3 pack are on the descent.
They are. We, in fact, just saw them coming in the opposite direction. So they are technically up the road, but lower down in the slopes.
Yes, they're up the road, but down the road.
Yes.
Dahl was the rider who took 10 points at the top, cementing his position in that King of the Mountains competition. Osorio took 8, Hulhorst took 6, Forster took 4, and Manarelli took 2.
Now, into the sprint as we make our way in towards the 9.3 kilometre marker. Hayden Pucker at the moment with Skierski, with Jones, with Paradis and Kaplinski all chasing after him. Pucker has done the lead out, but it's going to finish a little early here. Pavel Skierski takes it up, though, and that handover smooth. Jones is rolling on. He's not in the 16. He is now. He's out of it. He's got to get securely in. It's really difficult to latch on. You've got to be able to get the pace. Now he goes into 16. You can see the difference it makes. He closes down the gap here. He's going to drive over the top, but can he then hold it? Skierski is not going to be left with any time to respond. Jones in 1, Skierski in 2.
Do you know, Jones waited.
You could see
he waited.
There.
Yeah, and it was such a long run, and the Pucker Skierski 1-2 was beautiful, but it was just too early.
It was too early, and I think if Skierski had had a little bit more kick and have held Jones off longer, Jones was battling to get into the draft. Once he was in the draft, it's not a foregone conclusion, but he's put himself in that best place, and that was really good riding by him. And I think it's just Skierski 4 points, good result. Jones 5 points, better result.
Well, and Jasper Paradines comes through for 3 points. So those 3 riders in that sprint competition, still 1 point separating them. But this time it's Jones and Skierski tied at the top, and Paradines 1 point back. So all change, but nothing's changed. So that competition is going to keep us entertained, I think, right the way through till the end of today. Hayden Pucker picking up the 2 points from that lead out, and Ruben Dont coming through to pick up 1 point in that competition. Those 4 riders clear, but just 10-second gap back to a group of 30 riders in that group. Adrian Alvarado off the back of the pack, the only rider to be so.
Indeed. So keep riding, Adrian. Your fortunes can wane and wax. You may be back on top form by the time we get into the next stage. Never mind, a little bit further down, all 7 of our stages. So category 1, top left-hand side of your screen, last riders to leave the pen. Just over 10 kilometres covered just in front of them. 6K up the road at 16.2 is category 2. Further up the road, another 7K or so is the category 3 pack, who are making their way down that descent. The category 2 are just climbing off the other side and onto the flatlands beyond, currently at the 29.9 kilometre marker, just about to be on some tough terrain. It is the category 4 pack, but we're just going to dive in with category 2, SS on the move. Now, this is the sort of climb that suits SS. If ever there was a rider who's going to put an effort, he will push himself, and then he'll back off. He's perfectly suited to this, that sort of repeated effort.
I tell you, he's putting a massive sprint in at the moment, and then onto the flat section. He's desperately trying to get away, but he's not going to
yet.
Not
going that far, is he?
Well, and that's the challenge for this climb, and that's what I think is so interesting about watching the men race it for the first time, because the women have raced this before, and they've raced it quite regularly. They know the type of climb it is and how hard it is to break away. It is it's probably one of the hardest climbs to put a breakaway in on.
And I think it was on the first of the preview podcast that we did with Hayley Simmons. Hayley said, I think it was this climb, it's still draftable.
Yes, the whole way, pretty much.
And you are catching draft, which is really useful the whole way up. And because of that, having that bunch around you, taking turns, you can be very quick indeed. Really interesting. When we talked to her yesterday on the show, she was saying that her tactic on this is to sit at one pace on here, and that's almost the polar opposite, I think, of a lot of how the men are riding at the moment, kicking up the steep sections and then easing back off. The top, though, is it's basically flat as you run in. The archway is in front, SS in front, Martin Trojanowski, center of our screens in person, sits back down again. You can see the power has come off. I think he knows he's going to be in second place. He doesn't want to lose any more distance. SS goes through, picks up maximum points. Counter attack coming over the top, in over the line, a little further through here as they come in over the line there. So interesting moves. Ivan Nuki at the top of the climb, kicking his way up and through. We're going to wait for those points to be calculated.
So SS picking up 10 points, Trojanowski picking up 8, Ortiz picking up 6, Nuki picking up 4, Betty picking up 2. That climbing competition in category 2, SS cementing himself at the top there. But it's an interesting one out there because Peter Lustig and Vidal Mayer, who have picked up points already, not at the front of that group. They are in the group, but not at the front. 46 riders currently at the top of the climb together in category 2. As we watch category 3 come through the sprint.
So the Hederic Beach sprint unfolding, and Morgan and Rocker going through with that gap at the front. Jakub Cikor's coming in behind them. And we saw a move to get across with, to go clear with Rocker and Morgan sort of coming together. People were wanting to go, and it has gone now, but nobody's now gone with it.
Well, Rocker and Morgan, both with really strong points on the table in the sprint competition. So putting a breakaway in where there's 2 sets of sprints to pick up, so that they've got the opportunity to pick up, 4 or 5 points each through those 2 sprints to really cement their positions in that sprint competition. A great strategy, a great tactic. They're on 2 different teams, but, that doesn't mean they can't work together.
So Peak Power Racing's Mason Rocker up against Christopher Morgan of the Level Vikings. The Viking currently on 29 points. Peak Power for Rocker, seeing him to 36 points. Corrales currently sitting in 3rd place with 21 points. And Manarelli still holding that 4th place with 17 points.
Yeah, so at the 26-kilometre marker, the gap now, well, it's just under 200 metres to Rocker and Morgan, the riders away in the break. In real life, they could see them because you can see directly across the archway, but here on MyWhoosh, it's a long way back. Rocker and Morgan, the 2 riders clear. Oh, can they stay clear? I sort of think they're going to stay clear through the next sprint. It's going to be a big ask, but it is one that is possible. Well, category 6 were the first riders out of the pen. I'll leave Matt to ponder. But the first riders out of the pen today, Jonathan Fager on the front of the pack at the moment. Hadjuk is there, Smithson is there, Skierski is there, Lippenharsky is there as well. Ola Warren is also in the mix. Warren in that sprinter's jersey and doing another fabulous job today out there. That velodrome sprint that they went through at the 42.4 kilometre marker. Ola Warren picked up the points yet again, taking his total to 42 points in that competition. Today he's riding really strongly. He's picking up those points. He is moving well in the pack, and it is really interesting to see.
So the group just at the moment, Lou Castro on the front of this bunch in category 6 as they make their way along at the 43.4 kilometre marker. They know when they reach 45.17 K, so just shy of the 45.2 kilometre mark, they will be on to the climb for the second and final time of asking. And they've got to reach just shy of 51 kilometers in distance covered before they have got pretty much all the climbing done. 99% of the climbing is over and done with at the top of the climb with 15.8K to go.
Well, Fager on the top of your screen with Rune Nelson. On the bottom of the screen, it is Lippen, Harsky and Mosquera. Those 4 riders in this group at the moment as they're rolling at the 43.8 kilometre marker. Coming into the base of that climb, they go up, they come down, and then it is the run through the Hedaria Beach Sprint once more and into the finish line. None of these riders are going to be having their eye on the finish line today. A number of them have got their eye on the climbing points and the sprint competition. And that difference is really interesting in how the racing plays out.
And it depends on where those riders' priorities lie. Do they lie in the overall? Do they lie in the sprints competition? You know, what are they keeping an eye on? Which would they trade for another? Definitely interesting to see what people's answers would be on there. You know, where does that balance on those scales lie? Filipetta, the rider just we're in with here. The weather's still good outside the window. It's been nice weather outside the window every time we've gone in with Filipetta, the Finnish rider at the moment. Just a few of the trees from the massive expanse of forestry in Finland, just in the background there.
They are around 1,500 meters out from the velodrome sprint for the second time today. A good sized group in category 5 rolling, 39 riders in the group at last count.
So our riders at the moment are just looking to see what they're going to do in terms of that overall. As we look into this group, the riders on our screens, Leonard Greg Cadabona, Luke Kendall, Rod Loxley and Christoph Laszlo there. And Rod Loxley managing to position himself so he gets that little halo, the little light around him as he's tapping that rhythm out.
Well, I'm loving the fact Luke Kendall's just put an ice block down his back to keep himself cool as well. So all sorts of husbandry going on out there to make sure they are in tip-top form.
Great word, isn't it? Husbandry.
I know.
Okay, next challenge for these riders at the 42.47, so just shy of 42.5 kilometer mark, and that is less than 1,000 meters. The riders can see the banner in the distance if they've got their telescopic vision engaged. It's not a button on the MyWhoosh that you can press. It's something that you need to know by looking up at the top right hand side and to know where all of your sprint and key positions are in the race. A lot of riders with the key distances taped to the handlebars. It won't work for Mac Leonard, though, because he's got the towel draped over them just to protect the bike. Really nice bit of husbandry on the bike there as well, Emma.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Kubiak right at the front of the pack. Spratt is lining up in great position at the moment. Kubiak on your screens at the moment. They're running into the sprint, and this, this is reminiscent of for me, of the world champs in Zurich course, where you sight the finish line like 1.5 kilometers before you get there. It leads you to go early in the sprint, but right now they're not going that early in the sprint, just 400 meters out, and Joel Warren moving strongly in category 5, like he's been doing all race in these sprint sections. He knows that he's just got to get out in front of the group, and the group they seem happy to let him go. Behind the riders wanting to pick up the additional points, now starting to move. But Warren clear of the group, and he's going to go underneath the banner in one and pick up yet another 5 points. A bit of a clean sweep for him today.
Now, we see in Roman Mazzaros moving very, very late out of the group. Mazzaros going to take away 3rd place. Kubiak's continuing to sprint in behind him. Rojas sandwiched between Warren and Mazzaros. So, very close on points. Mazzaros was 2 points ahead of Warren. By my reckoning, they're now tied on points at the top of the standings. Waiting for the computer screens just to update with those results. They are indeed. So Warren and Mazzaros tied at the top of the standings, 35 points apiece now on their point scores in that sprint competition, and they've got one more left to go. Now we are in with category 1. We've hit the slopes here, and Jason Osborne has gone on the offensive. The chase is coming from Ruben Dont, a man who, when we asked him on the podcast yesterday, he said, we need more people to chase down Ruben, Ruben Dont to chase down Jason Osborne. And at the moment, The problem is that Kaplinski might be moving, but Van Elst is marking the moves for Osborne's squad here. Paradines is lifted up the pace, so is for Justin, so has Pedersen, but Osborne over the top of the climb is going to mop up even more climb points, marking the mountain points behind him. Ruben Dont comes through. I tell you something, Dont is on fire at the moment. Kaplinski, then Van Elst and Power as they go over the line, the top 5 there. But in the Category 1 race on the first time up the Hederiot climb, that is going to be very interesting indeed when we go forwards behind Jason Osborne, because it's Dont with 8 points, Kaplinski with 6, 4 for Van Elst, 2 for Power, but the 10 points going to the leader of the Category 1 Mountains competition, Jason Osborne. Dont's really cementing his place in second place there. Now, just coming in through the sprint a little bit further up the road, you can see currently the 25.4K marker. Our leaders have gone through the sprint point here today. So as they go through the sprint, the 5 points going to Hertz, 4 to Mel, 3 to Guerra, 2 to Otis, then 1 point to Damsgaard. And in Category 2, those points are going to definitely make a difference here in terms of the chase behind Vidal Mare. So the points are up here. Let's see how these riders are moving. Josh Power at the moment in that chasing group behind. It's fractured at the front of the Category 2 race, Emma. Our case in this group, and really strong rider, but I think there's riders who we would expect to maybe go hard here in pursuit, just holding off a little bit. Phil Gray springs to mind, our case. The UAE clan team as a whole, actually, just maybe just sitting a little bit back.
Yeah, and it's interesting, isn't it? You know, as the riders start to move here, we've got the riders on your screens at the moment, and they are all pushing. Well, some of the riders, interesting, isn't it? You know, in terms of, I just love the different styles as I look around the screen. I really do. I'm getting carried away by just looking at them all. But through that Hederiot Beach sprint, you know, those points are picked up. Hertz, Meg, Guerra, Ortiz, and Damsgaard. The Velodrome sprint, well, that will be the next one coming, but that's not till the 42.4 kilometre marker. The push is massive at the moment.
Yep, really starting to extend this group out. You can see rider after rider starting to take up that chase. A breakaway on the front that opened up this gap, really putting riders under pressure. You can see there's some serious effort there. Got Yazbek just out of the saddle, kicking on round, wanting to hold position here as we drop in with our mare, the sprint leader at the moment. 35 points to mare at the front, but what's going to happen when we move onwards,
though, isn't it? You know, you go through the sprint, you just keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening in Category 2. You know, well, look at that gap now. It's 10 seconds.
It is Nathan Guerra, Julian Hertz in the mix here. It's 9 seconds back behind them. This is a dangerous move. The issue for these riders is that once you get a Guerra or a Hertz in there, or you get a rider who's well known in there, or you get a Mendakowicz in there or similar, you are not going to go clear, I think, because everybody behind the warning sirens go off and everybody goes, hang on a minute, but how much room can we give these guys before we actually have to really chase on now?
Well, the call is coming on the front to start to work, because unless they all work together, they're not going to bring it back. But the problem is everybody else starts looking at everybody else. The teams start going, well, feel free, after you. And that's what keeps the inertia in the pack and allows the group to get a bigger group and a bigger gap. Well, the 5 riders down the road, you know, fortune favours the brave sometimes. We had the conversation with Peter Milostik's attack yesterday on a really innocuous looking course.
Yeah,
that, you know,
good example.
It's dangerous. And right now, there should be a big danger sign flagging over the top of this Category 2 pack, because those 5 riders they've just let go, Hertz, Mer, Guerra, Ortiz and Damsgaard, every one of them is class.
Yep.
There's a lot of class in this Category 2 chase pack as well, but the organisation of it is the interesting thing.
You can see at the moment Mandako is just holding fire. He is a calm rider. I think he applies a lot of wisdom to his riding, a lot of sense to his riding. in that he's calculating enough not to go. It's not that he won't have a go, but he's very, very interested in there. So the riders on here working really well at the moment. So Dan Chirek just on the top of our screens. We're just going to leave Dan out there. If you look at all the other riders apart from Dan, sorry Dan, they are all riders from Poland on our screens here. The Polish community is really, really strong, isn't it? I've got to say a big shout out to our Polish coach as well on MyWhoosh. Karol Sledek, he does a great job because the coaching sessions he does live are in Polish and in English as well. But the Polish community really a strong community of riders on MyWhoosh.
Yeah, they are indeed, and there are Polish riders in Category 1. In fact, there is a Polish rider on Dan Churek's team, Michał Kaminski, Polish champion.
Yes.
So you know there is a tentative link between Dan Churek and the Polish community on screen.
Okay. Sorry, I was distracted by. I was just trying to find the numbers for the proportion of riders that are from Poland in this race, but I can't. My brain has failed miserably operating the computer. Okay, let's move across to the riders who are currently on the climb, and that is Category 6 because they're coming up this climb for the second time. Once is not enough in this race. Twice is good.
Again.
Oh, we got to day 3 before Emma sung. My apologies.
I've been so tempted.
May I just give an apology to our viewers? If you were upset by Emma singing, we do apologise. It is circumstances beyond the control of those of us at the other side of the
they are indeed going round again. And if you actually take a look at the front group here, Quickstrom is coming to the front. So is Smith and Kenneth Londano. Callangad is there as well. It's a really good, strong group of Category 6 riders going up that climb for the second time. They're 800 metres from the finish, and Esteban Montoya is right up there too. Now comes Emil Ivanov, the polka dots coming to the front of the pack.
So the moment Category 6, the first riders out of the pen, a big group together as riders start to accelerate. Category 1, we just saw on our screens, Thomas Thrall clear at the front with that breakaway, solo breakaway at the moment in Category 1, not coming from Osborne, but coming from Thrall. So can anybody emulate that as they make their way up on to this climb? Category 6 at the moment, even off the climb competition leader, wearing that polka dot jersey, the black with the gold dots on it, going up towards the top of the climb. Remember, when they reach the top, it's a long straight run to go to the banner. This is that long run. They've got to get round the back of the pillar to the banner. You can see the archway in the mist in the distance. Even off leaving this out, Zimiel, Quickstrom, Fager, Smithson, all in the mix. Smithson just dropping back now. Callangad goes over the top. Kenneth is not that far behind. He's hauled his carcass up the hill as we see Zimiel making a move here. Quickstrom looking like he's holding that second place, but here comes Zimiel. Is Zimiel going to take it? No, Ivanov holds him off. Zimiel was close there. That came down to the wire. Emil Ivanov takes away the point, subject to confirmation on the top. How close was that?
That was so tight. The computer took a while. Zimiel takes it from Ivanov at the top of the climb by 0.002 of a second. I don't think I've ever seen anything that close. Quickstrom comes through for third, Fager for fourth, Barbella for fifth place in that King of the Mountains competition. Ivanov still out front with 46 points. Quickstrom now with 31. Nice moves from the pack.
And you can see why Zimiel was sprinting there, because Zimiel holding 29 points in the overall competition. So interesting to see the way that that's being ridden in that Category 6 race. That is really coming down to the wire on every single climb. Now, it's 43.1 kilometers covered on the Category 4 races. We drop in with Category 4. And in terms of the sprints competition, Francis Pino was on the move in the sprints, but so has Aidan Sinclair, as has Nicholas Arago here. But we have got a breakaway on the move.
Well, and I want to say this out loud, but I think Aidan Sinclair's got stitch. Just moving a little bit uncomfortably there on the bike, and I'm not surprised because this is one big attack they're putting in. So Bartos Falana and Aidan Sinclair putting in a great performance here, moving on through the race.
And this is what Sinclair, I think, has wanted for a while.
Yeah.
He's wanted to
Someone
get
to go with
company, to go down the road with someone. And we've seen him put in solo attacks, and they haven't always paid off. That sometimes they really get a great result. But you can see at the moment, Sinclair and Falana, 25 seconds down the road. Mayer, Batty, Pierce, Rushman, Atari, Pino, that the names are rotating fast enough, because you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, they are basically just all together, and they're not. That's not a look of a chasing pack.
Well, it's not a pack that's moving fast enough. The duo are moving at 37, 38 kilometres an hour. The pack's moving at 35. They're not going to make the catch. The gap is just going to extend. Now, if we drop back in with category 2, they're at the 32.7 kilometre marker. They're on the transition between the 2 laps. So they've gone up and over the Hederiat Beach Sprint. And they are heading towards the velodrome sprint, but that doesn't come for another 10k. Last time we were with them, the breakaway group of 5 riders were away, and we had a chase group. I think it looks like it's all back together again.
Yep. Looks to be like everything is back together again. It was 46 riders through the sprint, wasn't it? Together at the Hederiat Beach Sprint on the first time through. Now, in with Rick Van Aert, we might not be going to him on a climb, but we are going to him on a rise today.
Yes, we are indeed. So, a small rise.
It is a small rise. For those of you that don't watch the Sunday Race Club, Rick is in the unfortunate position of the man that the commentary team choose to go to the moment that the gradient increases. It's like there's an automatic button set up on the selection desk in the production. That means when we go up here, we go see Rick. Don't stop though, guys in production, please, because we do like to say hello to Rick. And Rick doing a great job out the saddle there, the national champion of the Netherlands. At the moment, tucked nicely in this group.
Yeah, he is indeed. And can I just say, Rick Van Aert, I'm amazed by his racing, because I found out this week he has 4 sons.
Oh, as one of 4 boys, if they're anything like the 4 of us, it would be absolute carnage. Now, let's dive in with Marcin Wozniak. Wozniak with the wave there, tucked into this group. I love the fact that Marcin Wozniak, we do go to him regularly on the Sunday Race Club.
Yeah, we do.
He's cool, calm, and collected. He always has the time to give us a wave. He's even when he's tucked in the middle of the fastest riders on Cycling Esport, doing the biggest stage race, the biggest event of the year. And guess what? There might be $1 million at stake across the entire prize fund, but he has the time to wait. So, and thank you to him and everybody who shares their pain cave, their racing experience with us. We are going to put it out there. If you haven't joined yet, please do. There's loads of stages left to come and join us in that Zoom room. Make sure it's in landscape mode, and do make sure your name matches, because if it doesn't, we can't find you.
Well, category 1, 29 riders in the leading group going through that section as they head towards the velodrome sprint for the second time. Category 5 are on the slopes of the Hederiat climb for the second time. But wow.
That was a big butt.
It is, because they're coming towards the top, and it's a massive group. That's what the butt's about. The butt is that nobody is clear at the moment, but Luke Kendall on the front of the pack. And it is Gavescu who now starts to put his nose into the wind, the rider leading the young rider category.
This group was 46 riders strong, just coming into the base of the climb. Gravescu right on the front here, leading the young riders competition. He flew up through the standings. He's flown up over the top there. Spratt, though, look at it. The rider leading in the climbs competition, looking for more points, wanting to be further clear at the top. Gravescu takes 10, Rojas takes 8, Spratt takes 6, Savic takes 4, Thornton takes 2. I'm just watching Spratt to see whether he backs off completely here. Spratt at the moment leading 49 points in the KOM competition in category 5. Gravescu, the nearest rider, on 33. And then we're down to 18 points for Felipe Marin.
Yes, so it is indeed a closely fought competition, but Spratt picking up every single point that he can. I tell you, Gavescu's doing a really good job out there today. He really is. So category 5 are over the top of the Hedera climb for the second time, just over 15 kilometers to the finish. It's downhill and flat to that point.
Okay, I did just mention the $1 million prize fund, and I think probably now is an appropriate time for us to show you how that breaks down. So the first split in the prize money is a 50-50 split, and that means that 50% of the prizes go to the women's competition and 50% of the prizes go to the men's competition. Let's take a look from category 6, which is our standard race category, up to category 1. We can see the special jersey winners all take away $400 in category 6. The top right hand side, you can see our stage winners. So these are the prizes just in terms of the stage. So to win on the stage, $170 to win the mountains or the sprints, $30. Individually overall, if you're taking away a top 10, you're going to be taking away prizes, $1,600 to win category 6 individually. And if you win as a team, well, your team will be taking home $3,000, and that runs right down to the 7th team, which will be taking away $1,500. All the figures in here, US dollars. When we move from category 6 to category 5, you can see that on the stage, the prize goes up to win the stage, $210 to win one of the other categories, Cahill in the mountains or the sprint. On the stage, $40. Our overall jersey winners are up to $600 for the sprint, the KOM, the young rider, the masters, or the GCC winner. In the individual classification, the prize fund now goes right up to $2,400 for first place. And for the team competition, for those riders in the winning team, they take away $4,400. Let's move up again because we're going up to category 4. And this time around, our individual winner on the stage, each and every stage in category 4, $250. In terms of jerseys, the sprints, KOM, etc., that's now up to $1,000 for the individual win in the classification. The individual classification, $3,400, and we crack over the top of the $5,000 mark in the team competition in category 4, $5,720, the team win in category 4. So that's the first half of the race field. We're keeping on moving up though. As you can see, stage winners this time now up to $280 for the climbs or the sprint winner on stage, $70. If you take away one of our special jerseys, so GCC, Masters, Young Riders, etc., now up to $1,400. Individually, top of the tree, you're going to take away $4,800, so just shy of $5,000 there, and $8,360 for our winning team in category 3, right the way through to $3,800 for the last team to score in the prizes, and that is 7th team. Our penultimate race category has the second highest prize fund, with the individual stage win now worth $395. The individual KOM or sprint winner taking home $105. Any of our sprint jerseys, KOM jerseys, young rider jerseys, masters jerseys, or GCC winners jerseys, basically any of those 5, they're now up to $1,800, with $7,000 for the individual leader and winner of the general classification, with the top team prize now up to a phenomenal $13,200. That is in category 2. And if you think that's big, take a look at this. we are on the biggest prize fund. It is for category 1. First on stage, $750. Second on stage, $450. Third on stage, $300. Win the KOM or the sprints on the stage, $150. Take away the win in the sprint, the KOM, the GCC, the Masters, or the Young Riders competition overall, $3,000. The top 10 riders run from $1,200 right the way up to first prize for our winner in category 1 individually of $12,000. And the first team with the lowest aggregate time across all 7 stages in category 1 get that fastest team time, and you are going to be taking home as a team $23,325. You heard it right. $23,325 to take that team win. It's going to take some doing, but my goodness, is it worth it? With even the 7th team over 10,000 US. Our riders with big prizes up for stakes, up for grabs here today. There's big stakes, there's big prizes. The riders having to complete a very thorough verification. They've got to adhere to the rules and the guidelines down there being checked across all 6 of our race categories. And that means that we know that the watts that the riders put down is the watts that we see that drives the avatars and gives us these amazing race performances.
Well, I'll tell you something, these amazing race performances. We've got a couple of our categories with breakaways going on at the moment, and category 6 is one of them. Torsten Holtz and Jonathan Fager looking to go off the front of the bunch at the 59.8 kilometre marker. They've gone through that final sprint of the day, the Hederiot Beach sprint, for the final time, and they've launched an attack. Well, Ola Warren took the points from Voda, Fager, Barbella and Londano, and 2 of those riders have just kept on going, Holtz and Fager. Smithson now coming to the front of the pack, but the pace is off the group behind. It's a 5-second gap. He's down in the time trial position. That is Jonathan Fager, and he's time trialing his way to the finish line now. He's got 6.4 kilometres of racing to complete, and he's got company with Torsten Holtz. They need to work together here to keep extending that gap, but they are indeed extending it at the moment. It's gone from 5 seconds to 6 seconds in the time I have been talking.
They need to keep driving now. So Fager and Holtz need to not ride side by side, but take this in turns. Imagine it's a 2-team time trial on the front. Put the effort in, rest in the draft on the front, work out, put the effort in early, break the gap. And that's really, really key when you're riding and trying to get clear of this group. Get the early effort in and get the gap established. You can then ease back a little, but you've got to get the gap established. So worth that investment now. We're seeing that from Holtz, who's now on the front, Fager dropping in behind him. This group now is all about who wants to expend energy. Who is prepared to put down the watts, expend that energy now on the basis they may not be able to profit from it. Dylan Cannon on the chase now. Looks like this is a move to break across. He sprinted out of the bunch here at 10 watts per kilo. This is the way to go clear if you're with that. Can he hold this, though? He's got to keep kicking. He's only 2 seconds. What he doesn't want to do is bring the rest of the group. You can see Ken on your screens. He must know from his time on the track how to bridge across. He'll have done it on the track, trying to work his way round lap after lap after lap to get onto the wheels. The problem he's got is as he's kicked, Corver has come even off his coming. So is Vidhil Dahl. They're going to bring this back together again. And I think Kennett could be sounding the death knell to this breakaway.
Well, Kennett, part and parcel of the BMC squad out there, and it is going to be one of those squads where they've got a title to defend. Michael Rademacher, one of the category 6 riders, looking to defend his title from last year, and Kennett part and parcel of that team.
Rademacher, though, quiet so far.
Wow.
Not that that's a bad thing.
No, there's no problem in it at all. He's currently lying 7th on GC. He moved up 10 places yesterday. He's 4 seconds out. That's really good in terms of defending that title, in terms of that position. Category 5 a little bit further back. They're coming into that final sprint of the day at the 58.8 kilometre marker. The final sprint. And at the moment, Netto is the rider off the front.
And Neto scored points actually already in the sprint. So Derrick beat sprint number 1. We're going into Derrick beat sprint number 2. Neto has gone for it. Unfortunately for him, he has just been surpassed by Laszlo, Rojas, Mazaros, all kicking over the top. The name that's missing from this picture at the moment is Joel Warren, who's not in the mix here at the moment. Mazaros is. Laszlo takes that sprint win. Good job, sir. Good to see that the speedy legs are on today. And at the moment, Laszlo with the speed there. We went into that with Warren, and Mazaros tied on points. However, that's not going to be the same now.
No, and I'm just looking for Warren on the riders who have come through, and I can't spot him easily.
Okay, we may have to go back to that one then.
Yeah, you carry on, and I'll
Thank
just
you.
take a look.
That's very kind of you.
I know.
We are in with category 5 as they make their way in along at the moment. So at the moment, we've got Spratt and Kendall with a 5-second gap now because they've done the 1-2 over the top. They went into the sprint, and we've seen that move over the top.
Yeah, Warren was gapped on the climb. But at the moment, this is category 2, and they're going into that velodrome sprint before they hit the climb for the second time. And Trojnowski and Gorjank off the front. Mayer Hertz off the front of this rider here, Mitchell Stewart, who's looking to pick up the final points in that competition as they go through. Well, interestingly, that a 5-rider break went down the road, they pulled it back, and now there's a 2-rider break down the road. And maybe it's all about who those riders are.
Trojnowski and Gorjank at the moment, well clear. I mean, they scored the points, 5 and 4 points in that sprint competition, which I think is of relatively little concern to them. Mayer Hertz Stewart behind at 16 seconds, and I'm sure Emma's probably frantically scrambling through to see where they are. Marcin Trojnowski, 9th overall, 11.23 seconds down on the race lead. So virtual leader on the road at the moment, Gorjank at 14.5, 15 seconds. So at the moment, potentially we're going to see the yellow jersey of Josiah Betty having to shed that yellow jersey as the gold jersey of leader and pass it over. But one thing we do know as we go into a finish, the budge will just get quicker and quicker and quicker, and breakaways tend to at best hold their own and often fade.
Yeah, they do. But interesting moves there.
Emma's face is a face of puzzlement.
No, it's not a face of puzzlement. I'm just looking at the riders going through because they're both part of Team Balbina. That's a team attack.
It is. Bear in mind, Peter Milostek went on the attack and went clear in the later stages last stage, and then took time. You're now seeing his teammates, Trojnowski, going clear, along with Gorjank going clear. So they have the potential to really affect the overall. Now, let's go back to category 6. We saw the move for Dylan Kennett. I said this could potentially be the death now. Well, I'll tell you something, it's not. It's quite the reverse. They are ringing the bell of changes at the top of the standings here, potentially. Fager, Corver, Holtz, and Kennett have got together. Holtz and Kennett made a junction with Corver and Fager and co. It's a great 4 riders on the front, and the gap now, it's big, and it is going to change positions big style today on a stage that had the potential for a breakaway. We thought it might go on the climb. It's gone on the descent and the run in towards our finish. That sprint, as much as anything, instrumental in how this group has changed.
And less than 2 kilometres to go now in that category 6 race, 4 riders clear. It's going to be a great move towards the finish. At the 43.9 kilometre marker, there's still riders clear in the category 2 race as they move towards the final climb of the day. So category 2, Biarhead, Kalman, Marquez, Graves, Cahill, Mundell, Hoffman, Walter are all in the pack. The pack are chasing. There's a small group of riders, Stewart, SS, Mayer. This is a small group ahead who are pushing on and trying to close down the riders that are clear. There are 2 riders clear, 15 seconds up the road, 2 teammates, Gorjank and Trojnowski, and the push is on. 15 seconds to the riders up the top of the road, and those 2 riders holding a good steady time trial pace. Let's go back with the Category 6 riders. We're now coming up to the final 1,300 metres to go. Corver, Fagan, Holtz and Kennett.
So really interesting, this move up here. Andre-Louis Gosselin was holding the overall race lead as we ended the last stage. Gosselin is in the chasing group, but what is really, really telling is I don't think he's got a single teammate in there. And that means that he's the only rider of that team, I think, that is in a position to chase the group. Now, I stand to be corrected on that because it was a very quick flick through that group. It maybe there's one or two, but it's certainly not having an effect at the moment. 26 seconds, and we're seeing it Skierski and Montoya who are doing the chasing. Our 4 leaders at the moment looking good. 65.7k gone. We're into the last 1,000 meters. Thomas cover at the moment. The rider on the front as Fager starts to answer the move from Corver. Corver has gone for a long one. Fager is in the mix here. Dylan Kennett. Oh, would you go against the track sprinter here today? He quickly has to answer it. Holtz is in there as well. Now, if these 4 start dithering about and start arguing with each other, they're going to hemorrhage time fast. They've got to be decisive whilst at the same time being careful. Do not give away this race when you have got 4 riders here in with the chance. I'm loving the fact Fager just dried his hands, so he's got a great grip on the handlebars.
Your shoes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tightening your shoes. It's dusting your hands down like you're dusting to go climbing or pick up a weights bar here. We see track sprinters doing the same. 4 riders on the run in to our finish. The kilometre marker has long gone. We are now starting to look for that banner at 300 metres, 250 metres. How long dare they leave it? Who's got the biggest kick? Keeping an eye on 2 of our runners, Kennett and Fager on the left-hand side. And now we start to see the pickup go. Kennett starts to go first. He went in a big gear. He's revving it up here. Has Fager got the answer for him? Fager had gone hard last time. Dylan Kennett's going to get 2 stages out of 3. Kennett takes stage 1 and stage 3. Fager, who took stage 2, has to be content with second place. Holtz and Corver have lifted themselves up in the overall as well as behind. Brent Sensing and Andre-Louis Gosselin are looking to limit their losses, but I think we're going to see a change at the top.
That was just amazing in terms of that finish in Category 6. Kennett just found that power, but let's just take a look because we've got a big run coming in Category 5 at the moment. They've still got some way to go because they're still just shy of 3K. So Kennett takes the win from Jonathan Fager, Torsten Holtz and Thomas Corver. They were, 8 seconds clear in the end of Brent Sensing. Gosler, who had the leader's jersey, coming through for 6th place today. Callangad, Kvikström, Murato and Barbella, the top 10 in Category 6.
And in terms of the overall, Andre-Louis Gosler has lost the top spot to Jonathan Fager. So Fager taking 2nd place on the stage has to be consoled with the fact that he's now taken the overall. So 1 stage, 1 overall leader's jersey. Kennett 2 stages, and he took the overall on stage number 1. Meanwhile, in Category 5 at the moment, Lucas Petter is the rider who is leading this out. He's just about, I think, to get pulled back here by a move behind Villa. Petter Jr. Alberto Penn on the chase behind Narovny, looking to make sure this doesn't go anywhere. Kendall is in the mix here. He's holding position. So is Thornton. Thornton, of course, sitting right up at the top of the standings as well in that top 3. What can he do today? Petter in 1, Thornton in 2, Cadabona in 3 in the overall GC. But what is going to happen now as we run in this? If there are big time gaps, any time gaps, it could change the overall dramatically here. This is a humongous, a great word, group coming in towards the, well, it
40
is.
riders.
It's
40
huge.
riders. Well, there's 1 or 2 riders just dropped off the back, but at the final sprint, it was 40 riders deep. They're not quite there yet, but the push is going on the front again.
Another move off the front here. Somebody just trying to break this open. They've maybe seen what's happened in the preceding race in the Category 6 races. Sad Losey has opened up, and Brendan Thornton is not wanting to let this go. The Level Avengers rider is looking to take away a big move here. You can just see the riders really making the moves. So we dropped into the pain cave there with the riders. Emma,
nice posters in Marius Fossi's pain cave, but the push is on the front now. And I tell you something, they've got 1,200 meters to go until the line. Yep. This is an early run.
It is. Thornton still holding just shy of 6 watts per kilo. Losey is going to get closed down here. Sad Losey went on the attack. It didn't pay off. He's waiting now for the group to come back, hoping that he's got another kick to come, and he's going to be given the chance to do so. Thank you very much, Marius Fossi, for the posters on the left-hand side of the picture there. Great work.
Well, great work being done from Thornton on the front as well. Gonsaling, Silva, Fijo, Savic, they are all lining up here. Felipe Marin is in the mix as well. Penn, Silva, Lasno, Fossid and Petter on your screens at the moment into their pain caves as Thornton. Well, Barrier is now trying to close down Thornton. He's coming up onto the wheel. It's looking like we're going to have around 700, 600 meters to go. And now Thornton gets caught. Silva starts to come. Kendall is there. Gonsaling, Narovi is there as well. So is Spratt.
Kendall came through at 8 watts per kilo to make his way up into second place, but now starting to fade to 6 watts per kilo. Narovny still holding 7.5, nearly 8 watts per kilo. As we see it all change at the front. Kendall moves on to the front here. Barrier is still holding that second place. There's distance to go. This is going to be a painful 200 meters now for the riders as they come over the top. Marius Fossier, the superstar sprinter from the 2025 MyWhoosh Championships. He's going to do it again 2 years in a row. Fossies is going to take victory here today in Category 5. He punches the air in delight. The man who moved more holidays than I've had holidays this week has taken victory here today. Fossier in one as they came in over the line. What a ride. Kendall couldn't beat him. Second place for Kendall. Petter in third. Spratt in fourth. Lasno in fifth. That is what you call a race finished by Marius Fossier out of nowhere to top of the street.
Well, that was just outstanding. 35 riders coming in for the sprint finish in Category 5 all together. Marius Fossier topping the table in the end from Luke Kendall, from Lucas Petter, Spratt and Lasno. What a top 5 on stage 3.
Now, we saw a breakaway of 4 riders in Category 6 take away basically the top 4 places because they managed to hold the battle into the finish. Now, we've got 4 riders clear here in Category 4, and this is telling Henry East is in the mix. So is Unger, but the gap is not huge. It's not as big. They need to keep on pushing. They're at the 61.6 kilometer marker, so there's exactly 5,000 meters to go. Ryan Giuliano, the gold jersey, the leader in the overall competition in Category 4, very much looking to hold himself in position as they come into our race finish. But at the moment, this is going to come down to who has got the timing right. Will it be Giuliano to take away a victory? We're going to just jump a little bit further back on course, but up the ascent because the King of the Mountains at the moment is on the move. That is SS on his way up this climb. The summit of the climb coming at 50.77 kilometers. But at the moment, you can see big move coming from behind. Nathan Guerra in the all-green skin suit of a Masters rider up alongside Mitchell Stewart as the duo close the gap down. They've got 2 seconds on the riders behind. They are 1 second behind SS. So SS, then Mitchell, then Guerra, and the gap is opening behind them. 3 seconds now Will it go out some more? They're going to go onto the flat with a lead. They are still chasing SS. You can see the three riders behind you. You can see the bunch behind coming around the turn here. This is for the final mountain points. Can SS extend his lead at the top? It's looking more and more likely, but are we going to see the move from Mitchell and Guerra put really out of reach the overall for any rider now dropped in these final stages, because we've seen how difficult it is to get back on? SS is going to take the climb points here, extend his lead in category 2 in the climbs competition. Stewart goes through in second, Guerra in third. But for me, this is all about what it does to the back of the group. I don't think we're going to see a breakaway come clear, but this is now keep the hammer down, put the pressure on anybody who's under pressure. Have they lost anyone off the back? I don't think they have.
Well, it's a really big, long line at the moment in category 2, and the line is chasing SS, who is sitting up on the front of the pack. So SS goes through Stewart in 2, Guerra in 3, Nitko in 4, Nuki in 5. But from the front of the pack to the back of the pack, it's 11 seconds. And X100 and Trojanowski are the riders at the very back of the pack. SS isn't going to want to drop his teammates, so he's not going to do the attacking. But I'm not putting it past Stewart and Guerra potentially to work hard on the descent.
They're going to keep that pressure on, keeping the chain tight. Now we're going to go in towards our race finish category 4 race. Last time we saw them, they were at 5K to go. They now have brought that distance down, and they are now at 3 kilometers to go. Well, it's a little bit less because Arthur Corbani at the moment is on the chase.
Yeah, 4 riders clear: Henry Yeast, Aidan Sinclair, Nelson Schneider, and Nicholas Orrego. Those 4 riders. It's a handful of seconds, and when I say handful, it's 6 seconds at the moment. There is, well, there's 2.8, 2.7 kilometers to go to the finish. I don't know whether this gap is big enough, but they are definitely working for it, that group of 4.
They certainly are. And I'm just taking a look. Nicholas Orrego in that leading team of the pedal club at the moment, looking good. He is a teammate of the overall leader coming into today's stage. That is Nicholas Orrego, who a teammate of Ryan Giuliano. So this is going to be really interesting how this plays out on the run into the finish, because Giuliano will be doing no work behind. He's leading it to everyone else. Meanwhile, our 4 riders, you can see the effort written all over Aidan Sinclair's face here. They just have one mission: absolutely burying themselves towards that race finish. They've got 8 seconds. You've got great sprinters like Francis Pino now having to come to the fore to work. He can't afford to let these gaps go too much further. Otherwise, it won't matter what kind of sprint you've got. You're not going to bring this gap back.
Henry Yeast's coffee that we saw earlier now taking effect. But with that 4-rider breakaway at the front, he's working and working strongly. The group, though, are closing this down.
They need to work together better rather than work smart. Don't just work hard. You've got to do both here. And I think the problem is that they have just caught and dropped a number of riders, and it now leaves riders in between. This potential draft that they were using now gone. So Sinclair in the leading group on the left-hand side of your screen. He's got East for company, the man in the middle of your screen. He's got Orrego on the right-hand side of your screen. 3 riders from our breakaway of 4. They've got 5 seconds at the moment. Now, that could be brought back, but it's all going to come down into the sprint here. They are catching riders on the way into the finish. This is no gap at all.
Well, it's no gap at all, and it's coming down really fast. It's currently 5 seconds, very soon to be 4. Sinclair, Orrego, Schneider, and Yeast. The 4 riders clear at the moment. Marvin Angarita comes onto the fact. Neil Ungara is there as well, but Ungara wanting to manage the pace on the front. Rusamaki now starts to come. You can see him on the screen at the moment, up and out of the saddle. Schneider, Orrego, Sinclair, Yeast. They have got 1,000 meters to go and a 5-second gap.
This is so tenuous. Can they hold on to this lead. They need to almost bring it out some more, because a big sprint from the back will bring you up. Marvin Angarita, the man who knows what it's like to be on the front of a tandem when you're at the Paralympics, is now on his way. He's really opening up now. He's doing this at 8 watts per kilo to pull them back. He's putting the power down, and he is going to get on the back, and behind him, they are coming one by one. Pino is behind him. He's got to just go straight through now. Surely we are so close to the finish. Sinclair on the front. I tell you something, that move by Angarita, he has left riders behind him. He's going to power his way up into third. He now is going to move into second. He's alongside Arago here. You can see the effort on Aidan Sinclair's face on your screens. Arago is out of the saddle. This is the run for the line. 250 meters to go around this right-hand bend. They will sight the banner, and there's nothing to choose between Angarita and Arago. Arago is just starting to fade, but kicks again. Angarita at the front here. He knows what victory is like. He takes it here today. Marvin Angarita, winner of Category 4 on Stage 3 of the MyWhoosh Championships for 2026, as the riders behind power to the line to minimize their time loss.
You know, I tell you something, Aidan Sinclair is getting my attacker of the day, the brave rider of the day, yet again in Category 4. Marvin Angarita, though, tops the table for the Pedal Club. In fact, it's a Pedal Club 1-2. Marvin Angarita in 1, Nicholas Arago in 2. Henry Yeast coming through for 3rd place today. Mika Rusamaki takes 4th, and Jamie Velez takes 5th spot today.
Look who's on the attacks. Carlos Manarelli.
Yeah.
I tell you something, this man is irrepressible. It is brilliant to see the Brazilian rider Manarelli now on the front. He's got 6 seconds to Watts, and it's a further 11 seconds back to Chicors and the bunch behind. So at the moment, Watts just being distanced by Manarelli. They are out from the finish by 5 kilometers, just under the 5 kilometers to go at the moment for the riders on the front. This is a huge effort. This is a real all or nothing. They have to keep pushing now. I don't think they can afford to sit up. I don't think Manarelli can wait for Watts. Watts has to charge up to Manarelli, because they are just too close to the finish here in Hedera Island on Stage 3 of the MyWhoosh Championships for 2026. And at the moment, we have 2 riders breaking clear and staying clear of the Category 3 run into the line. I think there's some tired legs already out there. These chases are not pulling these riders back as fast as we maybe would have seen on Stage 1. The cumulative fatigue is building up. Mikhail Jakila and Maciek Skierski, the 2 teammates, are looking to bring these riders back. They are in 1 and 2 in the standings. They were 1 on the stage yesterday, but this is all about getting the timing right. You get this correct, you will get yourself into a winning position. Have the 2 riders done enough? Jean Yannicki tucked nicely into the main group here. His countryman Manarelli up the road, but I think, if I remember correctly, running on different teams. So that is going to be a little bit different as we drop in with Raphael Buchter. If this comes together, watch out for Buchter as we come into the sprint. He's got a good kick on him.
He really does.
Watch out. I think Morgan could be worth the watch here.
Yeah, he could be, but I think Morgan Moore, Brad, a breakaway rider. Wilson Velada on your screen now. He too could be one to watch if it does come back together again. 48 riders were in this leading group through that final sprint segment. So this is going to be a really interesting finish. Can the fast finishing bunch, once the sprint starts to wind up, catch the group? But I'm not sure they can. They're a long way down the line. Rune Bakken will be waiting for a sprint. He is a really strong sprinter. Got a great finish on him. But the pack have to be in the right place for the finish. And at the moment, it's looking like not the top steps.
It is. The longer that time goes by, the more and more secure our riders out front are looking. You can see on the satellite view, they're already round the left-hand turn. They're halfway in towards our right-hand bend that weaves us through this very sinuous section of a race route as the front now starts to wake up and realize that they're in danger of missing out here. They're in danger of missing out of a place on the minor steps because this run is going to be critical. Now, Patrick Karlstrom has shed the glasses. He's now ready to go. Let's see if he can make this count. It is. We will see if the finisher rider can make this count. His tongue might be white and blue. The flag might be white and blue, but his legs might be black and blue by the time we finish. The amount of effort he's going to have to put in. Mathieu Kalman with the jersey blowing in the breeze gets out of the saddle. A little bit of a riser here, 2%. Just a little kicker over the top of this long left-hander, and this bunch are still not closing down the gap enough. This is going to be all over. We're going to come back to that because we're going to go down to the final sprint in category 2.
Yeah, we are indeed. We're on the Hedera Beach Sprint in category 2, and Julian Hertz and Michel Machedo are the ones battling here. Vidal Mayer now starting to come from the back from the group, but I think he's left this too late. So Hertz and Machedo go through 1 and 2. Mayer goes through in 3. Mendakowicz goes through with Graves and Gorjank. The question for me is who keeps going? Mendakowicz is the rider that's continuing to push
and
on.
Graves and Mayer, I reckon.
Yeah, I think you may be right there, but Maciej Mendakowicz goes, right, okay, we've got 8 kilometres till the finish. Let's go.
So Hertz, Machado, Mayer, Mendakowicz and Graves, the point scorers on the way through. Graves and Mendakowicz, so that is a dangerous duo. And the gold jersey knows it. We're seeing the race leader, Giselle Betty. He holds his powder dry. He keeps it tinder dry. But at the moment, the spark has been put to the powder, and he needs to go bang as we see the chases on. And Watts and Manarelli are together. Watts has caught Manarelli in the race lead. 10 seconds further back, he's down. And I think Watts has shed Manarelli as Manarelli's legs fallen off. Here they have. He's got to work. He's got to recoup. He's got to reset and refine that energy. There is less than 1 kilometer to go. Watts has caught Manarelli. Manarelli now resting behind Watts. The main group behind. This is not going to be their day on the top step of the podium. They're fighting for 3rd place at the moment. They're not that far behind, but it might be too far given what we've seen in the categories that have finished already here on the MyWhoosh Championships for 2026 on stage 3 here in Hedera Island. The riders really entertaining us. You can see the 2 riders in front. The gap is at 7 seconds. It looks less, but it's got to be tempting. They maybe the riders in this group are thinking, we can do this. This is close enough, but I don't think it is. Less than 1,000 meters left to go. Bush out of the saddle, winds up a big gear here. You're starting to see the power coming down as Quiros goes in pursuit.
Well, the question for me is, can David Watts work himself into the gold leader's jersey overnight? He's 1 second off on GC at the moment, but the catch is being made with 600 meters to go. Watts starts to pick up the power. He wants to try and get in the slipstream, but Quiros has just gone flying over the top.
So Quiros powered his way out of that main bunch. You can see he got the gap. He's the first rider to close them down, but I think he may have gone too soon. He has. Christian Montoya has gone over the top with power, but look at Reinheimer go. Reinheimer's not that far off in the GC. He could put enough time into the rest of these riders with a good sprint. Gallo is coming. Yu Young Lin has gone over the top of Gallo, and so has Almeida. Cansara is coming. Can Reinheimer hold? The answer is no. Almeida has gone, and Reinheimer is in there. Yu Young Lin is chasing. Oh, did Patterson steal it on the line? He chased them in. He was holding the draft. That was so close. The momentum carried Patterson over the line. Did it carry him to victory?
Yeah, no.
No!
It didn't. And let me tell you, we thought one of the finishes in the women's race was close, but that was 0.001 of a second. Franklin Almeida takes the win in category 3 ahead of Zach Patterson. Yun Yu Lin comes through for 3rd. Butcher for 4th, Brook for 5th, Guarin for 6th, Reinheimer takes 7th, Cansara takes 8th, Gallo takes 9th, Skierski takes 10th. Within 1 second, 15 riders.
absolutely flying on the way in there. Congratulations to Franklin Almeida of the cycling district team, taking race victory from Zach Patterson by the smallest margin possible. And the overall, I think, I mean, that is close. Is it Ryan Heimers?
No.
Oh,
Jun Yu Lin will
Has
go
Jun Yu
into
Lin
gold
as
tomorrow.
well. So young rider and holding the
by 0.06 of a second.
well done, buddy.
Yakila,
Yeah, nice.
0.06 of a second back. Reinheimer, 0.07 of a second back. There is a second separating the top 5 riders on GC in Category 3.
Okay, let's focus on our Category 1 and Category 2 races. Category 1, basically, they're all together. They are making their way at the 55-kilometre marker down from the summit of the climb. It's quite tranquil in the Category 1 race at the moment. I'll say it's been like that all the way. Category 2 races are a whole different kettle of fish. And that is because we have got a huge breakaway group on the front. That breakaway group of 9 riders have opened a massive gap. It contains in that leading group the riders in first and in second place in the overall classification. Mr. X100 in second and Yasail Betty in the gold jersey of the lead. The group behind is a big group, but they have work to do if they want to be back in the mix for the race finish. This is really interesting. 9 riders, it's a big group in front. It's one of the biggest groups. Peter Milostic, I think, has missed the move up front. I just want to get confirmation of that, but I think he's not in that leading group. Graves is there, Nico Mitchell in the group, Mendakowicz is in there, Guerra is in there,
Betty's in there.
Betty's in there that we know, X100 is in that, Damsgaard is in here as well. They've got the gap. Krasnich is chasing. He's about 5 seconds back at the moment. Betty needs to make sure he doesn't lose any time on the remaining 3.5K.
Milostic comes to the front of the group behind, but they're 16 seconds back at the moment. This is a group that could go all the way, but all the way is still 3.3 kilometers away.
I think the biggest problem for them is there's 9 riders, and they all know that they're capable of winning.
Yes.
Everybody in this group has got the potential to win. There are riders who don't have a kick who are on form, Phil Graves. There are riders who are not necessarily on the form we would expect, but have an amazing kick. And we have great riders coming to the form of their lives. So I think at the moment we are seeing a really difficult choice to be made by this leading group. The gap is 10 seconds to Krasnich and 20 to our rider in third place. That's Peter Milostic, who is in that group behind. And I think that this is a selection being made right now. For me, what will be critical now is can they actually get themselves in a position where they work together? Gorshank chasing behind. You need a concerted chase here. You're going to need to take it in turns. There needs to be some kind of cooperation. Just the odd spat up the road is not going to be enough when you've got 9 riders like that on the front.
Well, and interestingly, they've got James Krasnich between the 2 groups.
Yep.
So that's an interesting move in terms of when you make the catch to him, is there a little bit of confusion that you've made the catch when actually the main group are down the road?
You would hope that people still have enough vision and oxygen in the system for their eyeballs to work to actually read the screen and read the numbers. But that's a massive assumption because you're struggling to see with effort, there's not many times in my life I've gone hard enough to not be able to see straight, but I have. And I know that that's what we could see. Mr. X100 at the moment, the defending champion in Category 2 from 2025 is the rider who's just been dialing it on the front of that group. He knows this is the opportunity to put people in trouble. Each time one of our leaders is in the selection at the front and another of the big contenders isn't, that's time being gained. Let's go back down to our sprint. We're in with Ollie Jones at the moment, just trying to close down on Jesper Paradines in Category 1. Paradines is going to take it from Jones from, nice to see Bjorn Andreasen waking up on stage 3.
Well, he is indeed, but Pavel Skirski down in 5th place there. And in terms of those points, it isn't going his way at the moment. So Jasper Paradian's taking 5, Jones taking 4, Skierski just taking 1. So it's all changed now. Paradian's leading with 40 points, Jones with 38, Pavel Skierski with 33. So all changed there. But one of the things that is interesting is that Jason Osborne, whilst taking the points at the top of the Hederiak climb for the second time, it was just a 4-second gap over Lyndon Milostic, Kel Power, Stefan Van Elst, and Neil Fryard. 29 riders in the leading group in category 1. I think they've dropped 1 or 2 along the way, but it still means it's looking like a 27 up sprint in category 1 on the run in to the line. But that run into the line, well, it is still 8 kilometers to go.
It's a lot closer for the category 2 leaders. Our finish line at 66.6k, and even by my bad maths, that's less than 800 meters still left to go. This is your leading group at the moment. 9 riders who've gone clear. Stuart Damsgaard, X100, Mendakowicz, along with Betty, Nico in here, Phil Gray's in the mix as well. This is going to be telling about who's looking for time. Vidar Mayer has been sprinting like he's absolutely on fire as Mr. X100 goes for a long one. We know he's maybe not got the same sprint, but he's got the power to go for a long one, and they don't need to hesitate behind David Nitko, center left of your screen. 12 watts per kilo in pursuit, goes on the right-hand side. This is the run for the line, 250 meters to go. Guerra is starting to come. Can Guerra get the victory he's been searching for so long? He drops back. Stuart comes up onto the wheels, and now Stuart is leading this. He can see the banner. Mitchell Stewart has got the lead. Damsgaard's going to take him to the line. Mitchell Stewart takes the win on stage 3 here in category 2. What a run for the line. Mitchell Stewart coming over the line in 1 there. It's going to now be about time. How much time has this group taken? Stewart in 1, Damsgaard in 2, Guerra in 3, Betty in 4, Nico in 5, Mendakowicz in 6, Mayer in 7, and Mr. X100 in 8th. Graves in 9th. Emma, what's that time gap back?
Time gap is 15 seconds.
More time.
And Pardon Cooper taking the sprint from the group behind from Carsten, Ortiz, Bjorklund, Fournier, Trojanowski, and Bird. Wow, that was just some motoring move in category 2, and those time gaps are going to make all of the difference in that competition. You know, it's going to be just so close.
Betty and X100, I don't think are going to be split on time. Maybe 1 more second between first and second place in category 2, because there was about a second separating them as they went over the line. But then behind, it's going to be a much bigger gap back to Milostic, because he even held on to third place.
So at the moment, I can tell you provisionally, Betty will be in goals tomorrow. X100 3 seconds back, Stuart 8 seconds back, Guerra 10 seconds back, as we take a look at Hayden Pucker moving off the front at the 61.6 kilometre marker.
Now, we know that Hayden Pucker can go down into an FTP test and lay down a phenomenal amount of power. This is a flat run into the finish, and that is a dangerous man to let down the road in time trial mode. Niall Pedersen, very aware of that, looking to close the gap down the Norwegian at the moment, closing the gap down behind him. Van Elst and Don Anverjassen, 3 Belgium jerseys in pursuit behind, but they're riding on a number of different teams here. At the moment, the speed down here is phenomenal. It's 50k an hour pretty much on the front. If you're drifting back, you're still drifting back at 45, 46k an hour. Bujassin holding position in this bunch at the moment. This is going to be really, really key. What can they do about this as they move forward? Vajassin, though, holding position as another kick goes to the top. Van Elst it is this time.
Yeah, and I'm just looking here because Pucker can really hold some high watts here. Lyndon Milostic having to do 10 watts per kilo to try and close a gap down to riders doing 6. And that's all about watts on the flatlands. Dan Turek burying himself now to close this gap down and bring the group back. Pucker now sitting up. That attack is over, but expect more in the next 4K.
And remember, we saw on our screens just how much money is at stake here in the run for the stage win. There are 3 prizes. Top 3 getting prizes on the stage.
Yeah,
they
but pride
are
and
key.
reputation also key.
Well, it is. And also, I think there's a marker to be laid down here for the further stages. You know, there's a lot of psychological games being played, I think, in this bunch as we see another move off the front, another big kick this time. And Pucker is irrepressible at the moment. So is now Pedersen. Where Pucker goes, Pedersen is sure to follow. Milostic is in the wheels. And now Neil Fryer comes across. He's not in sprint mode at the moment. That was marking moves by Fryer.
Yeah.
He didn't want to let that go, but he didn't want to put too much energy in. His moves allowed the bunch to come back as another kick, and this time it's the youngster Linda Milostic on the move on the front. We saw him. It's got to be, I think, the 2023 MyWhoosh Championships when he was absolutely on fire. We're going to see how he's going now. Linda Milostic is on the move. He's making the move. Can he make this stick here today? He's not got the gap, and this is the problem. There's so much power behind. Panizza's looking very cool, calm, and collected at the moment. He knows he's waiting. He's watching. 63.8K cover, less than 3K to go.
Well, Milostic is his teammate being sent down the road to do the work for the sprinters in the team at the moment. And the pack here all still together wide across the road with the riders going off the front. And at the moment, we've got another big push coming. Rick Van Erck is in the mix. He's in the pack. He's watching the moves. He's going to come into the finish. Still got time to wave. What a nice man. He's like 2.5K from the finish. They're moving down the road, the two riders, but Rick Van Erck in the mix with the pack. So is Skierski, so is Pedersen, so is Van He, so is Paradian, so is Fryer. Dan Turek for the Alpha Jaw squad is on the van at the moment. The Space Cowboys are directing business. Milostic is tucked into the wheel. Pucker is right at the front. Pucker wants to make the action today. This is either a big lead out or this is Pucker just going from the flatlands today. But they've got 2,000 meters left of stage 3, and this is going to be one big sprint. I don't think anybody's going to get away right now because there's too many riders to cover the moves.
There's so many riders in this group. It's not very often we see a big bunch sprint or big for category 1, and this is definitely big for category 1 as they come in. We're in with Joshua Harris just hovering at the back of that group, but ominously Pavel Skierski in the young riders jersey, a man who's been up there in the sprints competition, looking to see what he can do as we see breakaway specialist Bjorn Andreasen. This is a second attack we've seen from Andreasen today on our screens. He's going to 8.5 watts per kilo on this hesitation behind. Nobody has picked up the pace here. We're at 60.5.2, 60.5.3 very, very shortly. And then with a K.5 to go, this is Andreasen going, and they're looking at each other. This could be bye-bye stage victory. Hello, Andreasen on the top step. Now the response comes. Well, that was delayed. He's caught them napping. The indecision could cost them dear. If it